them
No, you
up.
sometimes you're strict to the extent where you make them cry.
No. I make them cry in the shots where I cry too. I never abuse my heroines. I never.
ये मैंने सुना है.
नहीं.
You made Juhi cry, you made Karisma cry, you made
They
Shilpa
cry.
cry.
You know, she turned to me and she said, "But you're not Suraj Barsal."
Oh, okay.
So something came up to me because I'm a big equal. I said, "You're not Madhuri Dixit." I feel so bad. There were 2 opportunities I was supposed to work with Shahrukh Khan and both came. And I couldn't commit myself.
Oh.
My loss. Totally.
You mean to say that this entire story of Mahesh Bhatt being illegitimate and that his father and mother
This
never
is
got
his
married
viewpoint, except he should have been more responsible for it. But when you have 3 sisters who are married into traditional homes and have children, what rubbish are you making? Every card of every daughter had Mr. and Mrs. Nanabhai Bhatt inviting you for the Kanyadan. Every Kanyadan my grandfather has done. That poor man was, what was he flocked for?
Toy, I'm so happy to be meeting in this lovely bungalow. It's so nostalgic for me. I mean, this is your parents' bungalow. Smack in the heart of the Hindi film industry, Pali Hill. Yes. And this is where I've met your parents, this is where I've seen you. And this is where you wrote your Raja Hindustani, your Lootere, all your films.
Dhadkan,
all your films. आपका नाम धर्मेश दर्शन है, लेकिन मैंने जिंदगी भर आपको टॉय ही बोला है. So I'm going to call you Toy right through the interview because I can't call you anything else.
Please, Toy ही बुलाइए.
Okay, Toy is your pet name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why, but I've been calling you Toy ever since I met you.
So much dramatic difference between Toy and Dharmesh
Darshan, exactly.
So when I became a director, for some time I said, if everyone calls me Toy, I'm not going to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
You know? And Dharmesh Darshan is the other end of the spectrum.
Yes.
It's called a heaviness, you know.
Yes.
Those, I remember, you know, Saida ji who just passed away.
Yes.
Dilip Kumar's wife, my friend Saqib Ilham's mother.
Yes.
She said, Dharmesh, is this your real name?
Yeah.
It sounds like you made a name for cinema, Dharmesh Darshan.
Yeah, I mean, it's got that vajan about it, no?
Thing about power.
Yeah.
I said, no, it's really my name. Actually, my name, Bharti, is Dharmesh Darshan Diwan Sabharwal.
लेकिन
my father was Darshan Sabharwal,
right?
You know,
yes.
but my mother was Sheila Darshan.
Yes.
And so I'm Dharmesh Darshan. She loved my father so much that she wanted to call her Sheila Darshan.
Okay.
You know, as one.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So then that became the trend.
But lately I noticed you've added a Sheila to your name. You're Dharmesh Sheila Darshan.
That's definitely not,
like Leela Bansali.
That's definitely not because of Sanjay Leela Bansali. You know, now that it's a decade or more since she's passed away.
Right.
And you know well how.
Yes.
Well, how my mother was.
Yes.
If anyone knows, you know.
Of course.
And grief is a very personal matter, and I gave up everything because I lost both my parents one after the other. And I'm single, as you know. So it was like, I had shot death scenes, you know. Sharna Thakur's death scene in Dhadkan with Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan doing all. But I was never prepared for the real...
for the grief that hits in when it's your own.
Shook my foundation and took me almost a decade
to come out
of it. So when I came out of it just now, post-COVID also, when I felt the world survived, I feel for me being Dharmesh, Sheila, Darshan. So Dharmesh is me, Sheila's mom, and Darshan ji is dad. You know, so I felt, let me be this, you know. And since this time in life, if I'm returning and reinventing, hopefully, let me do different things with. Let me try out Dharmesh Sheila Darshan. Now Sanjay Leela Bansali completely skipped my mind until people started telling me, is it you know,
inspired
by. I said no, because he's my colleague and immediate contemporary, you know. But even if it's so, he's a super hit maker, so why not?
You know, your film Raja Hindustani, it's still up there in the top 10. I mean, it's there with DDLJ, with Sholay, with Gadar, with Bahubali,
Mughal-e-Azam,
And of course with Hum Aapke Hai Kaun.
Kaun,
I mean,
yeah.
all
Suraj's
these
film,
films which have been blockbusters, it's right up there to this day.
Yeah.
That was in 1996.
Yeah, end of 96. It has 5 release dates.
Okay.
Can you believe it? That's the only film in history of cinema which has released on 5 dates all over the country and the world.
How come?
15th Friday was supposedly released. Okay, release date. Fridays ko film lagti hai. But because of the enormity of the craze, which surprised me completely, though it was one more important film of the year. It was not an event film, you know.
Right.
It was one important film. It was important because I was my second film after a hit Lootere, and Aamir Khan, very select actor, though he became really huge post Raja Hindustani, if I'm allowed to say.
Yes.
That was his first. Instead, he told me that, you know, Dharmesh, I started working in '88. This is almost '97. 25 films I've done. The business of 25 films together is double of that is Raja.
Double of the.
Raja. When he's done Dil.
So if
and
he did
Karisma-
100,
Yeah.
this was 200.
No, it was
Meaning-
25 films ka business.
Business, meaning all of them together,
Together,
they
it
were
was
100.
2000. If they were
Yeah,
100,
100.
this became
Double.
250.
Yeah, yeah.
I can imagine, you know.
yeah.
This he told me before, you know, because I was always scared, you know, the kind of filmmaker I'm at, like, I don't tom my film, you know. I always say, let the Friday happen. Let the first show happen. I'm not a filmmaker, Bharti, whoever feels, I've heard filmmakers say, my film was great, the audience let me down.
Right, right.
I don't believe the audience lets you down. Though we are very dependent on audience mood. A filmmaker lets down the audience finally.
Right.
You have a popular,
you have to
you
take
don't have
the
that act,
rap.
you
You
can't
have
have
to
that
take
act, that. You have to take, like you take the bouquets, you have to take the big bats.
Right.
And when you reach that kind of achievement, it's very painful because filmmaker goes in Bollywood from GOD to DOG, DOG to GOD. There's no
With
in
an
between.
OG in between
Yeah.
these days.
Oh God. You know. But it's a fact you have to just
Yes,
come to
yes,
terms.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So when coming back to that, 11th it released on Monday in some places. Exhibitors, distributors demanded, please bring it on Monday. Then Monday it became such a craze that they said more cinemas on Tuesday.
Oh,
Then like films like Hum Aapke Kaun had released in one theatre,
I remember.
you know,
Liberty.
monitored. And here I feel very proud about because my immediately predecessors, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, were Suraj ji and Aditya.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
94 came Hum Aapke Hai Kaun. Then my close friend Aditya Chopra's Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, 96. Now that is Rajshri monitoring the release.
right.
You know, Yash Uncle monitoring the release. This is, I'm not the producer director, you know, I don't have a parent or someone monitoring. You release it nicely enough. So that became the real achievement, you know. Then Wednesday it went into more and then Thursday.
So what was the reason that there was this kind of craze for it before it was released? Because
Destiny.
like you said, it was just
Destiny.
another big film with Aamir Khan in it.
As they
but
say,
it had great music.
great
Nadeem
music.
Shravan were at their height.
At the peak.
Yes.
But don't forget Nadeem Shravan, great. But they used to do 20 films a year.
Yeah.
They were not doing like Rahman one film or something. So why did all those films also not? So it was the soul of Raja Hindustani, Ramesh Turani's extraordinary tips marketing.
Yes, yes.
Let's give the credit where it's due.
Absolutely.
The trailers I cut well, I felt, you know. And they were very simple trailers. But you know, I always feel happy about Raja Hindustani. It's deceptively a simple film. There's a huge difference, Bharti, between being simple and being ordinary. I'm a fan of some senior actors who have grown up after, let's say Nutanji.
Okay.
Okay, I find her very simple, but she's extraordinary.
That's right.
To be simple and to register in popular cinema is very difficult.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
you end to be bombastic tendency.
Yes.
But even Aamir Khan has a simplicity to him.
Yes.
There is a simplicity to him.
He doesn't enter with all that shusha
He doesn't come with the, you know,
about him.
band
Absolutely,
playing, you know.
absolutely, yes.
So that I liked. Not that stars who have that charisma are not it. वो अपना
वो अलग बात है.
अलग बात है. I have worked with them also.
Yes.
But I relate to that underdog, simplicity.
Yeah.
More-
Not underdog, understated.
Understated.
Yeah.
Though not necessarily my films have been understated,
Yeah,
you know.
okay.
But then film is a tightrope walk, you know. I feel that Bollywood or Hindi Indian cinema's audience is the toughest audience in the world.
Okay.
Because I feel our audiences are so dramatically different on political, social, economic, linguistic, cultural. I mean, we are catering from London to Ludhiana, then and more so today. From Jalgaon, Jalandhar to Chicago.
To Jaipur.
To Jaipur.
Yeah.
And I'm a filmmaker, so I was distributor's son who distributed 500 films.
Yes.
So I never ignored, and no place was small or big for me. My audience everywhere was important.
Everywhere is important.
I respected my audience, whether that's my music. At the same time, I didn't make banana peel films, slipping on the banana peel.
Yeah.
So that becomes a little, with all the challenges.
That's right.
But you asked that what was the reason? I genuinely, when I look back, at every film, I did only 7 films of the 70 offered to me, or even more. I say that humbly. Rightly or wrongly, I just
You're
chose.
saying you were offered about 70 films or more, of which you did only 7 in your career.
Yeah,
So
in an
far.
18-year-old career.
Wow. Okay.
I gave away, and I'm not the producer. And that time there was no share profit.
Right.
I took big price. I gave away 3 years of mine to every film. One day my father, who was a businessman, was so angry with me. He says, are you aware that the producers, the actors, and they all cash this? You know, producer has the rights of it forever. I have been a producer, my father said. You are an employee. You may be taking the biggest money. Like everyone gives this much amount of time. Even you say this is my time, I'll extend it 25%, you're giving 200%. But for me, it was important. There, I think I was a fan of the music director Madan Mohan.
Okay.
You know, he used to do. I studied him. He was before my time. Did very few films, but the few films he did,
My God, they just stood out.
they stood the test of time.
Yes, yes. Mera Saya.
Mera Saya, wo kaun thi,
Yes,
you know,
yes, absolutely.
Chirag with Raj Khosla ji, you know, and how many brilliant films. Haste Zakhm,
Yes.
all these films. We studied them. You know.
Even
Laila Majnu.
Bayana Dharu, even that one.
That's Dastak,
Yes, Dastak, even that
isn't
was
it? Bayana Dharu.
Yeah,
Awesome.
fabulous.
Bayana Dharu, O Balma, na karu mujhse. Beautiful, you know.
Yeah, lovely, yeah.
There's another lovely song in that film. Tumse kahun ek maan gulo se
Yes.
halki halki. Also a very good song which reflects every film celebrity's life. Majroof Saab, I think, wrote it. Hum hain matae koochao.
हम हैं मताई पूजा
बाजार की तरह उठती है हर निगाह खरीदार की तरह.
हर निगाह खरीदार की तरह.
And I'm Bombay, I didn't know Urdu, so lovely song.
Lovely
no?
song.
And you know, there's a verse in it, what these artists were, no? I missed their generation.
So you said you were inspired by people like Madan Mohan, whose work you had
Yes,
studied.
I studied, and all music directors' work I studied. But the pattern of work I wanted to do selectively, though I'm a director, but music being my passion. Every director makes a film, chooses to do a film because he identifies with something. Though I made all kinds of films, he connects with the violence of the film, or he connects with the anti-establishment of the film, or he connects even with the sexuality of film, or he connects with the ostracization, outrage, or he connects with the romance. I connect with the music, with all these elements. Even with aggression, I connect with the music.
Even in Lootere, which is an action drama, actually you had
I had bought
you
music.
had good music.
You
You wrote the lyrics of one, if I
very few
remember.
people know that.
Yeah.
And I
Which
gave
song was that?
तू मेरी रानी
मेरी रानी
मैं तेरी रानी
तू
Raja Mera. And my
Yes, I
first song was sung by Lata Mangeshkar.
Wow.
I was just 24 years old, first film. Hey,
Lootere,
Savan,
1993.
93.
Okay.
Hey, Savan, baras zara.
That's right.
Hey, baadal garaj zara.
Yes.
Then a version of
Anand Milan.
Anand Milan. You know, and Manoj Kumar ji, who was a very close,
He wrote
two songs as a gift
yes.
for me. He had seen me as toy,
okay.
and my mother was his Rakhi sister for 30-40 years, and my father was his distributor of all his films. So he सामने से wrote O Lootere, didn't charge a penny.
Really?
Can you imagine the graciousness of that man?
Okay.
मुझे ले चल मंदिर, he wrote. It's very ahead of its time. Today the environment like that with Ayodhya and all.
That's
you know?
right.
And he's written it not like प्रेम समंदर मन के अंदर ओ मेरे साजन मुझे ले चल मंदिर. You know. So I was hypnotized with all that. You know, I was fascinated.
Yeah. It must have been such a high you were on actually.
Yeah, the creativity was
completely. Coming back to Raja Hindustani, Lootere of course was a hit. It was your debut film. You were only 24 years old, and you came into Raja Hindustani.
Yeah.
How much was the presence of Aamir Khan? How much did that contribute to the success, etc.?
tremendously. Just like he disturbed Mela, he helped create Raja Hindustani. So I'll be honest here.
Okay.
Just like your sari, black and white, no grays or gold.
All right.
The beautiful one you're wearing.
Thank you.
Aamir was my childhood friend again. We both live in Pali Hill.
Pali Hill.
Okay.
Pali Hill brats.
The members of Time Pass gang.
Acha, okay.
Another friend of mine, Keval, you know, who was a connect. And Aamir was also in Bombay Scottish, from where I am.
Right.
Same age was. And though I didn't do Lootere with him, you know, when I met him, and he was as keen as I was to work with him, and I have this huge star called Sunny Deol behind me. And Aamir was big but had not reached heartland of India by then, in spite of 10 years. With much respect to him,
Yes.
which he became with time, you know. Shahrukh had come recently, he had become Salman, and become, for some reason Aamir had not gone. He was more elitist, you know, select, you know what I mean to say. Mumbai city, Delhi city, Bangalore city. So I told him, you know, you're Nasir Hussein's son, grandson, you know, and your father made nephew, sorry, I'm so sorry, nephew, and your father made Karwa. So you have no business ignoring. You know, Karwa ran from China to Chandigarh to, you know what I mean to say. I reminded him, Yado ki bara chura liya and all. So Aamir, come on man, you know, I am also wanting to do that, you know. But I asked him one thing, and I give him credit that he answered me for that. You know, I can be very soft but very forthright. You know. So when I met him for the film, Burani said, let's both of you make a film, Cineyuk, and Bunty Surma, who passed away. I must take his name. He was also the third, Karim Ali and Bunty Surma. You know, he passed away very sadly.
Absolutely.
I'm still very good friends with his wife Neelam.
Yeah, I'm still friends with her.
Beautiful, Julia Roberts.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And when they fixed a meeting, I said, meeting producer fix karenge, chahe hum dost kyun na. So I told him, Aamir, how many directors will be there in this film? So he looked at me like that. I said, because I believe people say, but I'm concerned, it may not, people don't necessarily the right thing. Everyone has their own experience. So he said, of course, Dharmesh, there will be one director. I have learnt that a film is made by a director's instinct.
He said that.
He said that. He said that. He taught me that further. He defined what I had not been able to elucidate. And he also said, but will you allow me to participate? But of course, I said, that's why I'm working with Aamir Khan. Interfere you will not. I'll take the heroine I want to take. I'll take the song I want to take. I'll take the Archana Puran Singh Navneet Nishan I want to take. I'll shoot the kissing scene I want to shoot.
Was that already in the script? Okay.
It was narrated with short division to Karisma Kapoor and Aamir Khan.
Okay.
With short division.
Yeah, because it was a long,
it's a 10-minute
kiss.
sequence. It's not a kiss, it's a kissing sequence. First they come running under the tree. Very passage to India, E.M. Foster. They go to Malabar caves, you know. Now someone will say where E.M. Foster and where Raja Hindustani, but that's the brilliance of Hindi cinema if you've done homework, you know. E.M. Foster's book and David Lean's version of Passage to India, and it was very inspiring for me to fit that into a popular film. So I changed Malabar Caves into Ooty's Tree. It was a location called School Month. Okay. It's a 8-minute sequence, 9-minute, 10-minute sequence. Kitna pyara tujhe. Finishes the Samanaya. Tu hai pagal, tu hai jo kar, tu hai dilbar jani, she says. Sabse pyara mera yara, Raja Hindustani. And they go, suddenly there's a storm. You know, when nature wills something, what is human? They go running up the hill to this tree to take shade.
Okay.
This whole sequence. Suddenly a storm comes. They have no awareness of their sexuality. They are both of a certain age. They're virtually very innocent.
Yeah.
You know, and suddenly she becomes aware.
Right.
That's
Of him as
a male.
Yeah.
He was always fascinated with her. So it's a very tricky sequence in Hindi cinema, in a family film, where a girl is discovering her sexuality.
Right.
Please understand. And it's not in your face. Then she calls him, she can't resist him, and it breaks into a kiss. And then she wakes up suddenly. And then she wants to run away from her lack of inhibition. She's so comfortable being in an inhibition. And then she runs down, and there's hordes of sheep. And the trees are moving. That's the sequence. So that's why it took time, you know, with the storms. It was freezingly cold, -2 degrees, and for 3 days we shot.
In Ooty.
In Ooty.
Okay.
And the actors were so cooperative. And these are quality actors.
Absolutely.
Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Aamir Khan,
Yeah,
Karisma Kapoor,
A-graders.
W.B. Rao, the cameraman, you know. And the challenge with me was to keep them warm, because they can't get typhoid in one day, you know, because they're human and they're soaked. So between shots, because it's got some 100 cuts, the sequence, you know. So I used to serve them brandy, which warms you up. Now they were having so much brandy that they had no control. And I can't have, I'm also getting wet with them, standing right with them, so they don't feel.
But you can't have the brandy.
But I can't have the brandy, so I can be ill that day.
Yeah.
And whether Slow's shot separate or Aamir's shot separate. So and what I was so proud, Bharti, was we kept the kissing sequence so long for the censors, and they gave us voluntary, they passed the whole thing, we had to submit voluntary cuts.
Yeah, you cut it yourself.
Yeah, that we cut it, we don't want it so long, we thought that
because you thought they are going to
Going
cut,
to
the
cut
censors
it.
will cut
Cut
it.
it.
Therefore you shot more than you required.
Shot more.
And
I
then
kept
then
more
you
than I
voluntarily-
required.
Okay, and then ultimately you
Edited.
kept more.
I
Because,
kept more
yeah,
also.
because they had
That
passed
they
it.
will pass. They will cut something, you know.
Yeah.
Imagine a U certificate film.
Wow.
Without any strings
But
pulled.
isn't this true that for the censor board screening,
Yeah.
Aamir was also present,
Definitely.
and that he was also, you know, partly
He believed in the
convincing,
film. Convincing,
he,
yeah.
to convince
No,
the
they
board.
didn't convince. He took the compliment. They didn't need any convincing.
Okay.
They called us after the screening to compliment us.
Oh, okay.
So there are times where I believe Raj Kapoor used to convince, and they would get convinced with his belief in it. They didn't need convincing.
Oh,
Instead, they complimented, this is very beautifully done. I give them the credit.
okay.
How ahead were they? And it's nice, and it's traditional, and it's liberated. To which I said, Indians are very liberated people.
But you do have this obsession for kissing scenes, no? You had it in Lootere also.
And Mela,
Mela,
with Twinkle and
exactly.
Aamir,
Yeah, with
but not in Dhadkan. Okay, not in Bewafaa.
Oh, okay, exception.
Exception. Where required. See, I have no problem with people snogging, smooching, kissing, lip kissing. I don't believe in moral policing in that matter. It's much better than negativity. It's better than violence. Roads, rash driving, India has the highest thing. What's there in a kiss, man? Are you getting what I'm saying? And we
Yeah,
had
but you did this way back in Lootere 1993.
three under the Shah
Yeah.
with Juhi
and Sunny.
Yeah, Juhi needed a little convincing. Sunny had done the only case before that many years back was just a touch with where Sunny pulls Amrita Singh and throws in Beta. The first one who started this kiss thing in wholesome films and censors allowed the cuts, I think was me.
Probably
Yeah.
you, yeah.
So yes, I don't have a fetish, but I also felt the actresses I was working with needed that, the character and the actresses needed that. Juhi Chawla had a sweet girl next door image, but there was so much more to her.
Right.
Karisma had little tomboyish image, but there was so much to her. I so felt that about Twinkle Khanna also,
Right.
you know. But there are no rules. When I shot a long hissing scene with shots with Twinkle in the music of Mela's song in Jaipur, they cut that.
Acha.
And I said, but you didn't cut it in Raja Hindustani. They said, we didn't feel the need to cut it there. I said, why? Is it because of the actors? I've shot it in the same way or the kind of film? They just didn't answer.
Okay.
I mean, the years have further passed
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Okay.
They chopped it off. They
chopped
just kept
it
the
off.
minimum of it.
Oh, okay.
To I reminded, but you all have given, I gave voluntary cuts. They said, yeah, that's why we kept even this much because we love your thing. It's nicely, but you don't require to do this more.
Oh,
So I said, okay.
okay. तो ऐसा भी होता है.
No hard and fast
No
rule.
hard and fast rule. Okay.
शिल्पा शेट्टी के साथ मुझे लगा, अक्षय कुमार के साथ, कि I don't want these actors to kiss. Their image was different. I'd rather them perform passionately, you know, and not be diabetically sweet or anything also. But I feel Ram and Aarti or Dev didn't need that element, you know. So I didn't like, okay, I'm lucky this is for me and all, but then Dhadkan also clicked without it.
Yeah.
Instead, Shilpa was a terrific dancer, is a terrific dancer. But if you notice, Dhyan se, there is not one dance song of
there's
hers.
no dance.
song.
And there's none of that, screwing up her face. Or, she was famous for that at one time. Yeah.
No,
that was one film where she didn't.
She and Karisma were two heroines who submitted.
Okay.
It takes a lot for a star to submit, however big or small they are.
Yeah.
I was taking huge challenges with them, but directors have their own, you know.
Yeah.
But these two girls rose in the ranks, I felt. Especially Karisma was big as it is. But not, she became number one. Shilpa Shetty also survived still. I feel her level of submission was outstanding.
Okay.
I was very strict with her. Almost parenting her, though she's not so much younger than
No,
her.
you sometimes you're strict to the extent where you make them cry.
No. I make them cry in the shots where I cry too. I never abuse my heroines. I never.
ये मैंने सुना है that you made Juhi cry, you made Karisma cry, you made
They
Shilpa
cry, I think sometimes because I think they get scared कि ये deliver कैसे करे.
अच्छा.
Which I watch. I'm not like, why are you crying? Are you getting what I'm saying? I would, no, I don't make them cry. I don't beat up anyone. I don't abuse anyone.
I didn't say abuse or I didn't
raise
say
my
abuse.
voice also.
Yeah.
I push them.
That I'll leave for another filmmaker.
You know what I'm saying? I push them. I call them by their names.
I believe so. You're a little Raj Kapoor obsessed. So you
Could be.
Because you wanted Juhi to be Anjali.
Shilpa to be Anjali again.
Yeah.
Lolo to be Aarti.
Yeah, you want
wanted
them to be that
because
when they're
really
working.
they do so many films in India. They used to at least do that point. How do they connect with the character suddenly for 4-5 days they come in between? So I would, at the risk of, but I would never call Aamir Khan Raja. I would never
this was for the
for the
females.
girls.
Yeah.
Because Aamir Khan was already so dedicated.
That he was already doing only one film at a time.
One film at a time. Even Sunny Deol was, if I may say, he was even more involved than Aamir Khan. Who will believe this?
In Lootere?
Yes.
Okay.
And I was 24.
So why didn't you repeat Sunny in Raja Hindustani?
He didn't suit Raja Hindustani.
Okay.
You can see it for itself. And I feel I'd done some excellent work with Sunny Deol. I felt if I ever want to work with him again, it should beat Lootere.
Okay.
I was not so sure about that at that point, you know. Plus, I'll be honest, I was very intimidated with him. I was 24. So that's one man who never bullied me, never smirked, never mocked, never teased.
Okay.
He was the one who said, toy, don't do this. If somebody would be rough with me at that age, you know how Sunny doesn't fight, he would stare at that person. If a singer, however big she is and legendary she is, if he heard on shoot recording she was being too senior, patronizing, he would tell me, ignore her.
Okay.
And it's a brilliant man.
He's very protective.
He's very protective,
Yeah,
classy guy.
yeah.
I call him, not because Gadar 2 has just released, I've always called him the last of the stars.
Right.
His entire conduct, the way he sits quietly on a set, there is no nonsense on a set with him. You know, he cancels, but he never turns up late when he's there.
Okay.
He's never in a hurry to leave when he's there.
Okay.
What is your sequence? Incidentally, the first time I wore a pug was in my film.
Oh.
With my dear Chunky Pandey, who played Barbie
Yes.
in a sequence called Pape Bachalu to see the song.
Okay.
You know, so the first time he wore, because I had seen a film called Jeevan Mrityu with his dad, you know, growing up. I felt they look superb as Sikh gentlemen, you know, Sardarjis, you know. And Sunny looked so good in that sequence, and he did it first time,
Okay.
you know.
So
That's
Gadar
where
and
it
all
started.
came afterwards.
Much after that, you know. But that was just a sequence. In these films, they used it very nicely.
That's right.
That he did. Anil Sharma used it
Used him fabulous.
outstanding.
Yes, outstanding.
Whether 2001 or 2020, that credit you have to give, and you have to give it to Sunny Deol also. It's very difficult in the heat of our sets and all to tie that turban full on
Yes.
and to do such action sequences.
And be there for the scene.
And be fair for sequence and not irritate the director. He doesn't snap and all at a director.
He doesn't?
No.
Okay.
He's strict in the sense that he's a star or superstar. So why should he allow familiarity with him? I would say that he doesn't like familiarity. But इतना अपनापन मैंने किसी और एक्टर में देखा भी नहीं.
अच्छा.
If I may say in Hindi.
Okay.
He has boundaries and he allows you to have boundaries. I was a kid. I was 24. He was a superstar post Ghayal.
Right. And he was post
Yeah,
that's right.
and he told my brother, and I was not even his like playing up to him and everything. My brother made a film with him which I had not worked before that, called Intakam, which was that time a very happening director called Mr. Rajkumar Kohli. Sunny, Anil, Meenakshi Shishadri and all that stuff. It had not worked. He told my brother, I'll work with you next time. Take your brother as the director. I almost fell off my chair. I said, what has he spotted? I'm quiet on the set. I come from Sydney polished.
You mean Sunny spotted the
Yeah,
director in
yeah,
you? And that's
completely.
how you became a director with Lootere?
Completely.
Oh, okay.
And I was so quiet.
This is like Shahrukh spotting the director in Karan.
Yeah, but Karan is then also ebullient.
Yeah, he's very
You know, talkative. I was extremely held back. कि ये क्या बोलेगा, वो क्या बोलेगा. I don't want to play up. I don't want to be over smart, bratish or anything. So that I gave him to credit. What did he see? But with my silence, he saw something. With my reaction to watching around, I still remember it was. He was shooting a song with Disco Shanti for Ghayal.
Achha.
And we had gone late night to meet him. And he turned to my brother and said, Intakam has not worked at all, but I'll do this film. Take him.
You already had a subject.
No.
Oh.
Can you believe? No script, no subject in there. So I understand a person, they talk so much about hardbound scripts and all. He just said, just be yourself. Give me an outline, what is, because it has Nasiruddin Shah. Chunky was a big star at that moment. Anupam Kher, Juhi Chawla, Pooja Baby. It's a star-studded multi-star film. He just said, who am I? Am I the protagonist? Is it my story? And I was a little scared. I'm so overwhelmed with this big star who's behaving also so nicely. And the film is, everyone is good, but he's the best. Where Juhi Chawla is also very good. It's any heroine is 3 songs, 3 scenes. Nasiruddin Shah Sikandar is good. Chunky is superb in this comedy. Pooja Bedi is good. Anupam Kher is such a good villain, you know. So that I take pride.
Okay, great.
But I'm a little afraid. I want to clear this thing that I'm not praising him. I'm not going to overdrive about him because his Gadar 2 is the biggest hit of the.
Right.
It's really superb.
I can.
It had to be. He could not go away anywhere. I saw Gadar 2. I was stunned with the intensity of his performance. He's playing a father, but he's so handsome.
Yeah.
You know, and only he can go and 10,000 people run away.
He just looked at the hand pump
And he's not even lifting it.
Not going near it.
And he's not even he doesn't even become loud. You know, he doesn't become like that.
That
There's
intensity is
the
just there in
so
his
even he's crying on the bus
personality,
or sitting on the bus for his son. The face is so correct with that pug and everything. Damn good, yeah.
Yeah, that's true, yes. So coming back to Aamir Khan, how much of a contribution did he make to Raja Hindustani once he told you that there's only one director on the film?
He was superb.
Did he contribute?
Yes. He contributed by supporting me so much on all my vulnerable days. See, I had this very big hit film behind me. Again, I was very young. I'm 28 when I'm releasing Raja Hindustani. Please understand. I'm working with a very big actor. I'm taking a supposedly non-actor opposite him. There's not Juhi or Madhuri Dixit. And now people call it Rani Hindustani also. But I liked Lolo, yeah. When you ask me the question, I'll answer. I adored Raj Kapoor and I felt that lineage she really is got that element which sometimes I feel Aamir doesn't have. Can you believe it? He still thinks from here. She thinks from here.
So you think she's got Raj Kapoor's lineage talking?
You know what she did once? We were shooting that sequence where Aamir is drunk. I'm saying this first time on camera. Tere ishq mein naachenge. So when he gets drunk, he misbehaves. So she's very embarrassed for her husband, and then Archana and all adding, you know, her family is adding to the nonsense. Very high society party, you know. And he's actually very complexed. You know, it's a very difficult sequence. You know. And it's not a drunk scene you're enjoying. You're watching it with pain. You know, drunk scenes you enjoy also. You know. And she goes to him and she says, "Please stop it." You know. And he turns to her and he says, "Sharminda. You're embarrassed." That's hurting him more. You're embarrassed with me. Forget all of that. My partner's embarrassed with me. Am I that lowly? So when she says no, Raja, so he catches her hair, la avara. Okay, and he says, "Tum bhi to sharminda ho." He told me, no, don't do this. Let me hold her hand. This could be his right. You know. Could be I'm making it very, you know, masculine, unnecessary hurting of. I give a lot of respect to my leading ladies in the film, whether I make them kiss or whether they physically expose or anything. You know. She took me into a corner. I request you. She said, "I request you." I said, "What?" She said, "I've seen my grandfather do this sometimes. Forget his films. In real life." The minute she said that, I went to Aamir Khan. I said, "No, not even one take this, one take that. You straight pull her hair." This was Karisma Kapoor. Hi, main mar gayi.
Wow, okay.
She feels Hindi cinema.
Right.
I made her for a long time.
But she was not your first choice for Raja Hindustani.
Again, destiny. As they say in Hindi, "Dane dane pe likha khane wale ka naam."
Right.
So that happened. My first choice was, of course, after you make a hit film with a very good actor, actress, you want to work with them again. So my first choice was Madam Juhi Chawla.
Naturally, you just worked with her.
Yeah, I just worked with her.
But you had a little bit of a problem
No,
with her.
we were both very young.
Okay.
And we would constantly, you know, squabble on the sets,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
But I was fascinated.
Okay.
She was in my same college, Sydenham.
Right.
You know, my mother had taught me, I'm not trying to wear a beard or trying to show what a man I am, that you romanticize people. It can be your sister, it can be your parents, it can be your friends, it can be a film. I was very fascinated with Juhi Chawla's Sydenham. She was beautiful, ordinary.
I'm from Sydenham too.
You're from Sydenham. And it was a top college, you know. And she was a year junior to me. And she never remembered me, but I saw her every single day.
Okay.
So that stayed with me, you know. And when I wrote Anjali, since I write my films myself, she was so much in my mind. And then Raja Hindustani, Lootere happened, you know. And when I wrote Aarti, which is dramatically different from Anjali, but she's so versatile. I think she's the best comic tragic actress of this era.
Yes.
Before that, they have been, you know. But after that, I had doubt of Juhi's. Like, Kajol is a very good actress. They said, Juhi ki innocence. There's something about Hema Malini in her also. There's something funny and charming and dignified
Absolutely.
also.
And dignified, yes.
If I'm not going wrong, you know. She, for some reasons, played a little hard to get, which she herself gave an interview to some person
Later on.
that it was very foolish of me, she said. That's her greatness.
Okay.
Because most people then give some excuses or attack the director or something. She said he came to me and I was advised wrongly, and I had a hit film with him, and such an extraordinary role. Then I had my sister, my first cousin, Pooja,
Right.
Pooja Bhatt.
Yeah.
I said, isko banayenge. Pooja Bhatt, till then the second half was not written. The first half's Mem Saab was written. The docile, trying to adapt to Raja taxi driver wife was not written. I saw Pooju in it, you know. Aamir Khan Pooja looked nice also.
Yeah.
That done Dil Hai Ki
They had
Manta
already
Nahi.
done a film together. Yeah.
Pooja, but said one thing, that costumes, I wanted Manish Malhotra.
You were clear.
Clear. I predicted then this is the best, and I was not wrong.
Right.
Instead, Manish told me, can you imagine you changed the heroine because of a costume designer? This he told me. I said, yeah.
So
Because
she wanted Anna Singh and you wanted Manish Malhotra.
Anna Singh did Juhi's, Shanki Pandey's look in the Lootere also.
Okay.
But I wanted a full costume designer, which films didn't have for the full film.
A stylist.
Stylist.
Somebody will give a look. Right.
Which I was into, you know.
Right.
And this guy was dedicated, ready to learn. He loved cinema. He's my cousin, second cousin. And whether it's Karisma, you see Archana Puran Singh, her look.
Yeah.
You see Navneet Nishan's tomboypan. Pratibha. I don't think she can look more beautiful. Bala Sinha's daughter. That one song, you know. So that became an issue with me. Then I said, this is getting mixed between my brother-sister thing. I ran away.
Okay.
Then I had Aishwarya Rai.
Well, but she hadn't come into films at that time.
But I'd seen an ad with her, Aamir.
Acha.
I loved her. She was living at Khar. There was a friend of mine who was living in the building opposite. Samne wali khidki used to tell me, there's this very beautiful girl. And one day she was sitting in the rickshaw and going, and she just looked, and I said, ye to nazar heroine ki hai. You know? And she was my choice. She was also game.
Okay.
But then she had to go for Miss World.
Oh, she was not even Miss World by then. Okay.
What do I do?
Yeah.
You know? And then, can you imagine live Bharati? The day I went to meet Juhi Chawla, that day Karisma was dubbing in Anand Theatre, Devanandji's theatre in Palil near our house. And she was leaving and Juhi was coming in and I was coming in and Karisma kept looking. And that day I went to Juhi and I felt that she's not getting this right. And the next day I finalized Karisma Kapoor for this.
Wow.
Juhi said a funny thing to me. Again, I'm saying this first time. She's a sport, she'll take this. And she's accepted she made a mistake. When I went to meet her in the makeup room, she was dubbing. But there was a separate room in Anand for the actors. And I said, Madam Juhi Chawla, this is the film. So she turned and she said, but this is not Lootere. Lootere is a packed film. You know? This is a very ordinary subject. So to make her understand, Hum Aapke Kaun had just released. I said, you know, but that was a lot of plots. This time I want to make a directorial film all the way. Chahe Lootere is also. Ki team kuch kam mein kare, zyada kare, I overpower it. You know. Aamir is that kind of actor, that's why I've selected, you know, and the simplicity of it. So, what is so much then Hum Aapke Hain Kaun? I gave her an example, but such a fantastic hit and such a fantastic film, you know. Madhuri. You know, she turned to me and she said, but you're not Suraj Barjatya.
Oh, okay.
So something came up to me because I'm a big equal. I said, you're not Madhuri Dixit.
Okay.
On that little thing, can you believe the next day? But then she realized, educated, so she is, no? Next day she apologized and she said, come to meet me at Pyar now. That day at 1:30, Bunty Surma told me, Karisma's too keen. please meet her once. She's ready to come to your house. I said, no. I'll go to house. That time they were staying at Lokhandwala. Babita ji and they just shifted. The girl I met, at that same time Juhi was waiting, coincidentally.
Okay.
Who opened the door in the salwar kameez and all was not the girl I'd seen on screen. And her total, she was not even playing up. Her total, I had said kissing sequence thoda zyada karke ye wo. I was so excited.
You just felt you were seeing Aarti.
I felt, no, she's so malleable. So I went running to two people. One is Manish. I said, can you costume her correctly? He said, yeah. Instead, he had some difference. He had done her first film. Then there were some differences. They had some major differences. Then I said, but I'll take Manish. She was game. He also was game. He said, if you can sort this out. I said, He said, professional, so she is. Aamir Khan told me, what a choice. I give this credit to Aamir Khan.
Okay. He was all for it.
He said, Dharmesh, you'll have to work, but she's your school of it. On time pe aa jana. बहुत good on sets होती थी. And very excited, जीना यहाँ मरना यहाँ, Raj Kapoor. I just smelt it. Now if it had become wannabe, I could have got stuck.
Yes.
That just to get a film in. So 80% of the film she was.
Fantastic. Okay.
She was Aarti.
Okay.
So sincere.
And she had no problem. She had never done a kissing scene before.
Never.
Okay.
She was totally. I told her these cards, this kiss, this, and when you go back into the house, the kiss is rougher. When you look back, you over dramatize things. She said, every cut the way you say. I say, I'm making her a complete white churidar kurta with a, salwar kameez. There's not this much skin show. The background is not like sexy. That's music, which. I said, it's a beautiful sequence. She said, you don't have to tell me so much. Instead, she said this. Then I called Babita ji inside and narrated that sequence because she was a very young girl.
Yes.
So the mother can influence, what I mean to say. Right. And she had a good image also. Lolo was not a very noisy girl.
That's right. Yes.
She could come across loud on,
on screen. She had to.
But she was by nature is a soft girl.
Soft girl.
Vulnerable.
Yes.
A good daughter.
Yeah.
A good mother.
Nice girl. Okay. So you mentioned it to Babita ji and got an okay from her.
Completely.
As well.
Babita ji sat through the 3 days of the shoot.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't say, please send your mother from here and all.
Okay. That's rare.
I said, let her sit.
Okay. Oh, you're not doing anything wrong.
And then and the entire thing, naturally, producers have to recover the thing. They wanted to make a poster of the smooch. I didn't allow it. I said, no, she'll salute like that and Aamir will do that dance movement. Today that thing is there in WhatsApp, that movement, if you see, of a dance movement, what you call that symbol, And that is the poster of Raja Hindustani. He's just doing like that,
Yeah, correct.
So a combination.
So it's not like you made it crassly commercial by cashing in on it for
No, it's the turning point. Yeah. And in the film, in the theatre, I was aghast. I thought the film has failed because there's total silence, and I watched it all over the country. It's not just Bombay. Not a CT.
Yes.
It's the CT came at Pardesi Janani, which comes after that when Pratibha entered with her, Kamar and all that. I use Pratibha differently again as a dancer, gypsy.
Gypsy dancer.
Superb actress. I like the way you're singing. Please sing.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
मुझे छोड़ के दिल तोड़ के मुंह मोड़ के.
परदेसी परदेसी जाना नहीं, परदेसी परदेसी जाना नहीं, मुझे छोड़ के.
Nadeem Shravan, he's passed away in COVID.
Yes.
Sameer.
Yeah.
Ramesh Turani, Kareem Ali.
So it's a combination of everybody.
But Aamir Khan oddly never came for one sitting, recording, nothing.
Really?
Yes. And he is known, he's like Shami Kapoor, he would go for it. He said, this is your section, this music, so I'm not getting into my scope with you.
But that is so wonderful.
Wonderful, I'm telling you.
He just knew where to leave you alone.
Oh, he was wonderful, giving the clap. Such a big star. I was on my second film, he was on his 20th film, Though we are the same age, he had come in early.
So is that why you repeated him and did Mela?
Absolutely, that's the mistake I made.
Yeah.
What happened? He behaved so well in Raja Hindustani for the 2.5 years it took to make the film. Because of dates and
Yes.
things went in between, derailed and all. That I have a tendency, Bharti. If somebody is this much to me, I tend to have a. I overextend them. I'm very touched. I don't become, oh, this is my due. I get humbled. He's the pehchana.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's my nature as an artist, if not as necessary as a person. And he would give the clap also on the sets. If I was temperamental, he would tell me, can I help? Who's troubling you on the mind? Please tell me. I will deal with the actor in the makeup room. Who does these
That
things?
perceptive.
That perceptive. That humble. That ambitious. What an ambitious star. If Shahrukh Khan and Aamir Khan were not there in the gen I came, there would be no Suraj Barjate, Aditya Chopra, Dharmesh Darshan, Karan Johar, Sanjay Bansali. I repeat this. They were wonderful stars before them, they were wonderful stars after them. These two guys.
And Salman.
Salman, absolutely. But Salman is a star. You know what I mean to say. These guys, Salman is, what do you say, he's really what you call stardom. These guys are star actors also.
And very script savvy.
So and director savvy, not even script savvy. They just hear this director के साथ मुझे कुछ सीखने ग्रो होगा. कमर्शियली, क्रिएटिवली अवार्ड्स भी मिलेंगे, जो हुआ रिवॉर्ड्स भी मिलेंगे. ये मेरा बैरियर बर्स्ट करेगा.
They're able to gauge it.
They don't judge you on any grounds. They were so ahead of their time. Just you should be humble.
But like Shahrukh doing a film with Atlee.
At this point, and he came back such a big way. I repeatedly take his name. I feel so bad. There were 2 opportunities I was supposed to work with Shahrukh Khan and we both came. And I couldn't commit myself.
Oh.
My loss.
Right.
Totally.
Right. So to come back to Mela, what went wrong with Mela?
Aamir asked me.
You know Twinkle makes fun of Mela.
Twinkle to make fun of herself also. Sometimes I feel I should mock her. But क्या बोलूँ अब Twinkle को? Twinkle must remember that it's the highest watched TRP film. And of hers and of many films today. It's amongst the 5 top TRP films.
Okay.
Can you believe this? Where they said it's outdated, but today's youth loves it.
Okay.
And I'm not taking up for Mela, it's a disappointment. I agree, but it's not a disaster film like many. It's a lot of business. Suffers with Raja Hindustani. It's sandwiched between Raja Hindustani and Dhadkan. And then sections of media had their graves to dig with Aamir Khan.
Okay.
What do I do about that? You know what I mean to say? And then there's a monster hit Raja Hindustani. I didn't want to do Mela instead. But Aamir had to correct Faisal's career.
Okay.
There was no way. First I said no to him. I said no. My mother told me, you said no to him. You've told me repeatedly how well he's contributed. Do it. I used to listen to my mother.
So you did it because Aamir wanted to resurrect Faisal's career?
Totally.
Okay.
And look at it. It's so amazing. Shankar in the film is better than Krishna. Instead, some people find Aamir loud in the film. But I was disturbed through
Which they found even in his recent films like
film.
Hugs and
on this
Lal Singh
latest film.
Chaudhary.
I haven't seen both the films.
Which
He
at
played
one
to the
time
guy.
was sacrilege to say about
Aamir Khan. But that broke the barrier in North India with him. That's why Mela worked with him.
Oh.
And I still feel Faisal signed 10 films after Mela.
Okay.
It's not, I can't create a superstar out of every star. Twinkle signed so many films after Mela. But every heroine cannot become Juhi Chawla, Karisma Kapoor, Shilpa Shetty. Unka bhi to ek.
Right. To come back to Manish Malhotra, who you used for Karisma, he gave her that fabulous middle parting and that straight hair look. I still remember it. It was a totally different look that he gave her.
This may come a little controversial, but that was Aishwarya in my mind.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, she was the original.
Yes.
So I wanted the wig like that.
Okay.
I took her first time with Manish, took him also to wear hazel lenses. She couldn't put lenses in eyes. I said, not your regular colored eyes. I want a little else, you know. I want an Indian feel. That's giving a little Russian feel, you know. My father had colored eyes. He was not acting. Raj Kapoor also had colored eyes. But the girl needed more, you know. And I didn't use a normalizer. I used hazel lenses. And she used to find it difficult at that point to put it. But I did Zid. Manish's contribution, but then that's the first time, Manish had also done many films by then. First time a film featured him, like Bhanu Athaiya would be featured. Costumes and look, I insisted with everyone. Manish Malhotra.
But Bhanu and others did costumes. He did an entire look.
That's
He gave her a
the
style.
credit I gave to him. And he did the look. He sat, I would buy magazines for him.
Because उसने जो मांग किया वैसे नहीं
Lovely.
कि कपड़े दे दे. He did, you know.
But this I would, not trying to take his credit, I mean, I'm saying he's the best. And he's a classic example of how you can rise in the ranks.
Right.
Look where he's reached.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
He's
out of
making clothes for Air India crew now.
7
for the rebranded
out of the
Air
7
India.
films I did, and I did all kinds of films with him. 6 films I did with him out of the 7. 7th one, for some freak reason I didn't do, which was got nothing to do with our relationship. Outstanding. But Manish has the benefit of one thing, and he took that risk. Manish befriended 3 directors. Most people befriend costume designers only. They are dress designers. He's a director of costume.
Yes.
He learned that from Mr. Aditya Chopra, Karan Johar, and if I may say, Dharmesh Darshan.
That's right.
He heard us constantly discuss over those lunches and dinners, what we don't like about
You were
them.
a group here, isn't it?
Lovely. Not only 3 of us as directors.
Plus there was Jugal Hansraj.
Jugal Hansraj, Anil Thadani,
Anil
Ravina's
Thadani,
husband,
yes.
Kajal.
Kajal was part of the gang? Okay, I thought it was
Amongst
the
the
male
friends,
gang.
no.
Okay.
Amongst the friends, all my friends worked with her, and I worked with Lolo. You know, and Kajal was supposed to be in Mela.
Oh,
Yes.
and what happened?
There was some discomfort from her side. She was not sure about Aamir Khan at that point. Though later on they did some film, I don't remember which one. But at that point, she's a one-take actor, so she was Fana after many years, you know. And he takes takes. So she had the reservation that her spontaneity. So I just let her
Would
go.
get killed.
But she was very gracious about it. She came to my house and explained to me.
Okay.
Kajal is not known to do these things.
No, but you were friends.
But still, good enough for her. No?
So there was this group I remember here,
Yeah.
out here.
Eating.
You were all of you together.
Eating.
I remember seeing all of you.
You
so
remember
often.
seeing us,
Yeah.
I remember seeing you at Shatranj Napoli.
Yeah, all the
Right?
time.
In Pali.
Yes, all the time. I mean, there was you, there was Karan Johar, there was Adi, there was
Anil.
Anil Tadani,
Jugal,
there was Jugal and Manish.
Kajal was not there.
Yeah,
so
Manish was very much a part of this gang.
Yeah.
And I've seen Manish grow right from your film where you
Yeah.
gave him the first
Yeah.
the first credit as for the look.
Yeah.
Right from there to those gorgeous saris he gave Alia Bhatt in Rocky and Rani. I mean, fabulous.
He's
He's grown.
simply the best.
It's not like you gave him a break and wahi
No,
reh gaya.
no.
He's grown.
He has grown
And he's given
phenomenally.
that whole look and style
phenomenally.
totally different.
And mind you, my films are challenging. In the other directors' films of the friends, there were all these huge #1 heroines.
Right.
I'm working with great stars. They were stars, but
Yeah.
with challenges. Shilpa, Karisma, and all. इसको ऐसा करना है, इसको ऐसा करना है, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं करना. So he understood the mindset of a director. I'm so happy he's wanting to be doing many years. I believe he's trying to be a director.
I believe so.
And he's going to be a director
I
next
hope
year or
so.
something. And he'll be a very good director. I don't know how much his film will run and all, who can predict. And it will look very good, of course, but he'll be a very good director. Because he has hands-on experience. He's a smart guy also.
This is a coincidence, but we had DDLJ, we had Suraj Bajatia's
Kaun.
Hum Aapke Hai
And
Kaun, and your film
Yeah.
Raja Hindustani, all one after the
After
other
that,
in the 90s.
94, 95, 96.
Exactly, one after the other in the 90s. So is it, what would you think is common to all three, except that all three are right up there in the top 10?
I think what was common is we stayed behind the camera.
Okay.
We had I give them that word, we had the grace. Let the actors take away the credit. Let the producers the fathers were the producers. We are happy making our film.
So tell me, after that, Mela was a disappointment,
Yeah.
whether you agree with it or
No,
not.
I totally agree with
Yeah,
it.
I mean, especially after Raja Hindustani,
Yeah.
it was, and again with the same Aamir, same director, and then it's such a huge disappointment. And then you kind of perked up again with Dhadkan. But that took a while, isn't it?
No, after Mela, I released Dhadkan within a year.
But didn't Dhadkan kind of take some time? It was
Dhadkan
in the
took time.
making
You see,
and
what
not
happened
in the
was,
making
it
for
was,
some time.
I was so pressured with Mela. I knew I'm going wrong.
Oh.
I had a choice to run away. Right in the center of Mela came Hollywood.
An offer from Hollywood.
Mr. Ashok Amritraj.
Okay.
He's the first Indian guy who made it big as a producer.
Yes.
His representative, some lady, I forget her name with M, came from Bengaluru. You know, is a favorite city of mine. You know, and she told me Mr. Ashok Amritraj has said this director.
Okay.
And Shahrukh as the hero, they identified, you know how their markets for Hollywood, and Aishwarya Rai as the hero. However, once you say, then we'll discuss with them. But we have one condition. I was obviously happy. Hollywood has seen me, and I'm not making offbeat cinema or something. You know. That means my films worked internationally, which are they worked pan India and globally. And no PR, no talking big and all that. You have to go away for 1 year, they said. Because the director, actor can report for shooting or 3 days before come for rehearsals. My parents both fell ill exactly at that time.
Oh.
I was committed to Mela and Dhadkan.
Okay.
I told them. So she told me, for these films you're leaving Hollywood. I said, Bollywood has given me so much success just now. I can't ditch it. I can't jilt anyone.
Oh.
There are too many careers at stake in both these films. They're not. If I don't do these films, it's not easy to replace me as a director. The producer tells me also. You know,
You already started them off.
Plus, so many people. Shekhar Kapoor, such a good director, but he left so many films incomplete and went to Hollywood, didn't he?
He did.
You know, but I didn't do that because I really love Hindi cinema. It's called Bollywood and all. You know, instead I feel Gaddar 2 has brought it back to Hindi cinema. The word Bollywood became a very wannabe Hollywood derivative. There's something kitschy about Bollywood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean to say?
Yeah, correct.
There's nothing kitschy about Hollywood. There's something kitschy about Bollywood.
I don't use the word.
I don't like the word,
I've never
but now
used
there's
the
no
word.
choice. You know.
I never use it. Even when I was talking to you about your house, I said it's in the heart of Hindi cinema, Hindi film industry. I don't use the word. Would you like to say anything more about Dhadkan?
Again, I worked with actors who submitted brilliantly. Oddly, Aamir didn't submit so much in Mela, His mind started working more because of Conscious with Faisal and all that stuff. And he had become so big with Raja Hindustani. So his submission it was made with two people's instinct. And he doesn't have that commercial instinct. So it became a hodgepodge. I saved it at the end of the day economically. But I got a lot of flack for it. You know who will believe there's the sequence which I got a lot of flack, that urine therapy sequence, with Johnny Lever.
Yeah.
Do you know that's the first time in my life I said, I actually, forget heroines, I wept on the set. I said, Aamir, this is Aamir Khan's sequence, who will believe it? He took it from a film called Dumb and Dumber, I think. He said, Dharmesh, come on now, you can't be pretentious. You have to do it, you will shoot it like no other director. I said, but Aamir, this is not my style. I can do Kamariya Lachkere also. You know, like, Ho Tok Pe Aisi Baat Vijay Anand did, or Husn Ke Lakhon. But this is vulgar. But then he said, I had committed, I did it. So two's people's instinct.
Yeah.
Dhadkan, I became like a tiger.
Okay.
That, and the actors again were on a little low.
Right. Yeah.
What a comic.
Shilpa was not at the top of her game. And
Akshay
was...
Sunil, and Akshay,
Sunil with them.
But there's submission. Again, low world. Shilpa to chhod do. Akshay Kumar, his brotherhood. He's the only actor I call Akshay Ji. He's my age. I wanted to make him feel Ram. He was doing a different kind of cinema. Again, an interesting story, if you want. One day, I was shooting Na Na Karte Pyar. And there's the sequence where the plane is flying. Mr. Jain had booked a very expensive plane. So it's my responsibility. I'm on a distance with the tele lens. Because the camera can't stand so close to a plane. And both the lovers, that is Ram and Anjali, Akshay Kumar and Shilpa Shetty, are running. And their velocity is beating the velocity of a engine of a plane. So I was a little scared because, you know, these accidents have happened and then the director gets the blame. So I said, keep a distance between. And I'm not immediately next to him, I'm at a very big distance on the tarmac, you know. But Akshay ji used to do stunts and all. He took Shilpa and he missed that the plane just missed him by a centimeter, the wing. God. I thought I'm dead and I can't even cut it because that.
Right.
So when it finished, he said, Kaisa laga? So I was Akshay ji, but I said, but this is not Dhadkan shot, this is a Khiladi shot. It came out of my mouth. Yeah. My mother was with me and my aunt was with me in Switzerland. Then we shifted to a location called Thun. I just clammed up. I started missing Aamir Khan and Sunny Deol and all. This guy calls me into a corner. Look at me handsome in that in a tuxedo and all. I think you're the best designed something of some top thing for Dhadkan after so many years.
Okay.
You know, his clothing also is different. His hairstyle Dhadkan, you know. He said, Dharmesh ji, he took me into a corner. I said, what is he going to talk? You're not concentrating on me suddenly. I said, because I honestly told him, I said, because you're disturbing me. I don't know, Shilpa to sunti hai, Sunil Shetty bhi sunti. लेकिन ये शॉट इतना फिजिकली लीथल था, मैं थोड़ा डर गया हूँ. तो मुझे लग रहा है, you know, it's so good. His reference was so good. He said, you know, I am the Raj Kapoor guitar, La Nargis ji. You take me here, or here. I'll bend from here. I was, instead of getting angry, I got so excited and Dhadkan happened that day, I feel. I said, come on the shot.
That was the analogy he gave you, that I'm like that.
This is Mr. Akshay Kumar's homework.
Yeah, I'm like that guitar and...
Look at life, I would come and tell Twinkle Khanna this story. And she said, Akshay Kumar said this. I said, yeah. I said, he's going to make it again big. He comes at 5 o'clock in the morning. He listens like nobody. He doesn't do politics on the set. Whatever masti he does, makeup room. Doesn't get to pally. At least he didn't, you know, with me. And he lets the director, writer do his job at Dhadkan. So that was, and Sunil Shetty. Can you believe, Bharati? Puru Rajkumar refused the film.
He did? He refused Sunil Shetty's role?
Dev.
Oh. And why?
The producer told me Rajkumar ji's son is the new thing on the block. Prakash Mehra ji is also signed him. And please meet him once. I went to meet him at NSCA. I like to go to meet actors. Okay. You know, I have no hang up about that. I don't want to pitch them, but if I'm sitting in the film, I've never pitched to an actor. Nothing wrong in pitching, but I haven't done it. And he told me it's a negative role. So instantly I said, don't do it. If you didn't understand Dev, don't do it. Then there was a certain day I had all the topmost superstars came because Raja Hindustani was behind. I said, but that will disturb Akshay Kumar. The whole equation changes. I had two people in mind. Mr. Ajay Devgan. He had the darkness of the role and the poverty of the role. Not of money, of soul.
Yes.
Gurbat, as they call it. And I had Sunil Shetty in mind. You know the scene where he's envious of Akshay Kumar and he's looking. All this undercurrent. Sunil Shetty was a dream. I couldn't believe his performance. I felt Aamir Khan and all are such involved actors. These people are, you know, if they behave, what actors these are? If they want, if the director is allowed to helm the, you know, and Dhadkan happened for the best Filmfare Award and all that.
Yes.
You know?
Sunil Shetty was very, very good.
Very good. Akshay was so good. Actually, Akshay benefited the maximum from Dhadkan. He's still playing the ideal Indian man from there. Whether in a patriotic film or whether in an action. That is, Ram has become his motive. And I'm happy for them.
That's right.
Why, there's Mahima Chaudhry also.
Yes.
Let's not forget her.
Yes.
She was the last minute addition, do you know?
अच्छा, तो कौन?
There was no character.
वो ऐसा character ही नहीं था.
नहीं था. You see what happened? I didn't want the second half to be very over intense. I feel picture चल जाएगी, कागज के फूल ना बन जाए. You know, I wanted a hit film and a good film. And after Mela, I wanted again, you know. Instead, Sunil Shetty used to die at the end of the film. Instead, Akshay Kumar was so great. He said, the scene is his, but please shoot that scene you've narrated to us where he dies and I'm holding his hand. उसकी धड़कन रुक जाती है at the end. But I had survived Mela, which was my nightmare after, these kind of successes I had made. I felt, no, life is not about dying. Life is about fighting. How will this man fight and go away somewhere and rebuild a life? Someone has to come in his life. That was Sheetal. And only Sushmita said. Shilpa Shetty, Sushmita. Sushmita said it's completely Shilpa Shetty's film. And she was a big heroine. I said, I can't convince you. She's Anjali. Mahima was excited. She told me a lovely line. I want a film with shelf life. I can show my grandchildren and all.
Oh.
Very nice of her.
Yeah.
I like the line.
Yeah.
I told the producer, I want Mahima.
Okay, great.
And it's actually 6 scenes and 2 songs. But what an impact she left.
But she's always been an effective actor.
Good actress.
Very impactful. Yeah.
There's power in her performance.
Yes,
You know.
yes, absolutely.
She's different.
Yeah.
She reminds me, some actresses like Sushma Seth, a senior actress.
Yeah.
Mahima's that school of an artist.
Yeah.
She's got that authority in her performance.
Yeah. Toy, while talking, you have mentioned a few other films. You have mentioned absolutely old films, Kagaz Ke Phool and stuff like that. But one of the things about you, which people used to say, was that all your films were remakes of old films, of old classics.
But isn't Dawn 1, Dawn 2, Dawn 3?
That is different, because they said that your Raja Hindustani was Jab Jab Phool Khile
and Pyar Jhukta Nahi.
And Pyar Jhukta Nahi, exactly.
And Passage to India. See, Bharti, Asha Bhosle told me one lovely thing. She said that Toy, also she calls me. She was very close to my parents. She said the best work of cinema is gone. In 50s, 60s, 70s and 80s. You're coming in mid-90s. Be sure everything is being recycled. Okay. You can bring your original things. It's very difficult to do classics. You can fall flat on your face. Great makers' sons can't make those films again. You can't be a wannabe Raj Kapoor or Guru Dutt or Bimal Roy or Ramesh Sippy. They are original.
Yeah.
But Sholay is also a derivative from Mera Gaon Mera Desh and Khote Sikke.
Yeah, yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Gabbar is Jabbar.
Yeah.
What more can this be? Are you getting me? So I have no qualms about that.
Okay, so you don't
not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
I believe Hindi cinema has so much riyaz in it already. There's so much textbook. Why should I not read my textbooks going for an exam?
Okay.
I can't mug them. I can't potentially apply to them. They won't even work.
But don't you think even when you've done films like much later, I think one of the last films you did was Aap Ki Khatir.
Yeah.
That was also takeoff of an English film.
Wedding Date,
The
I
Wedding
believe.
Date, yeah.
You see, what happened was the producer, again, this was the 3rd time working here. My problem has been, I've done all kinds of films.
Yes.
But I think, I don't know whether it's my personal conduct or anything. The image has become, I'm a very cool, liberated person. I shot the big kissing scene. But culture has become a part of my film, I feel.
So, okay, so you said you don't have a problem admitting that you are inspired by our classics.
My image went against me again in Aap Ki Khatir. The physical aspect. I told the producer, are you sure? He said, you are the director for this film in London. You have that aspect. Your film sells internationally, globally, overseas and sells India. And then he told me also that, come on, become, my assistants also told me, abhi ek 6 mahine film पैसे लेके बना लीजिए 3 साल आप उठा के दे देते हैं और फिर आपको गालियाँ भी पड़ती है तो आप रेगुलर डायरेक्टर क्यों नहीं बन जाते जैसे साउथ के डायरेक्टर्स 4 पिक्चर करते हैं बॉम्बे में भी 5 पिक्चर करते हैं एक और कर लो जब कि तो ऐसे चलो किसी ने स्क्रिप्ट लिखी किसी ने फिल्म है किसी ने हिमेश रेशमिया के गाने उसकी भी म्यूजिक अच्छी है अमंग्स हिमेश इज बेस्ट यू नो बट आई जस्ट फेल्ट अगेन इमेज It's not a bad film, huh? It's an entertaining, sweet film, very good performance. Akshay Khanna, what an actor. Didn't do well. Did hugely well again abroad because that was the subject. Do you know one day I went to the Taj in Delhi. There was a top film which is considered a hit, which was selling in London, which was selling £5 that film and £20 Aap Ki Khatir. So I called up Ratan Jain ji. I said, "Is it true? This?" He said, "Obviously in the Virgin store. From where will I put a sticker?" Only I did not tom. Why do you think Ashok Amritraj in between 7 films? Every producer wants to repeat me. Producers have one golden rule: you should be disciplined. You should not jilt the film midway, and they should make economic because they're the producers. Why
And
should
you
they
have
lose
to
money?
work within the budget as far as
Budget
possible.
also, and
Yeah.
I spend also, my costumes and locations, music, costed all this. That I take stars and everything. Every film of mine, including the lesser ones, or if you call them failures, have made minted money for the producers.
What went wrong with Haan मैंने भी प्यार किया?
Not a film I should have done. It's one of those films which, like, directors give their assistants ka naam na. Firstly, it was done for personal reasons. I had distance from my brother from my first film. I went outside and worked. Both my parents were very, very unwell. They felt brothers should get together. I felt no. So that was very disturbing for me. I don't want to say beyond that.
It's all right.
Abhishek and Karisma, first time ever they've done a film before or after that. That was not the Abhishek, a very sweet guy. That was not the Lolo I had seen in Raja Hindustani. This was a distracted girl. Actually with her emotional thing with him and a marriage ho raha hai. I just
Because when they signed the film, they were together, but during the making of the film, the problems had
after
started between them.
Between them.
Yeah.
And I'm not a psychiatrist.
And that told on the film.
And they told on the film, now what do I do?
The tensions. Yeah.
And I'm not a psychiatrist. I can't interfere in the relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing both the sides, I'll be honest with you. I'm watching also. Plus, as I said, I should have not done the film as a home production. I don't want to do. So I think that it's got superb music again.
Yes.
Yes.
Amitabh Bachchan called it an old-fashioned film.
But he said that. But Jayaji loved the film oddly.
Okay.
She loved the aggression of the girl who says that you went out for one with slipped, I'm going to divorce you.
Okay.
She says you had one night stand, I'm divorcing you in the film. Jayaji loved that. So that's okay. You can't go right. You
That
can't go right.
film was-
Look at Gaddar. Anil ji has made that in 2001. In between, I don't think there's anything. He's made big films.
He made Veer and stuff.
Yeah,
That
but
which
those
didn't
films
do
didn't
well.
work, which are also not just small, very massive films with massive
Absolutely,
stars.
absolutely.
But look, once you have a director who's disciplined and has achieved, he cannot deliver. Whether it's Raj Kapoor, Hitchcock, who am I don't stand a chance. Ramesh Sippy,
That's right. And then what about Bewafaa?
Bewafaa did well internationally. I really mean
because
that.
it's counted as one of your disappointments.
Lesser disappointment
yeah.
in comparison. No, it's a good film. I don't back out of the film.
And there again, it was Gumrah a little bit.
Yeah, first half. And Bewafaa had some problems. Boni, absolutely amongst the best producers I've worked with. Sridevi Productions. Boni takes time to make films. He takes his own time. In between, I don't do films. Murder, same film they made.
Right.
They happened to know, this happens when you're making big film. In 6 months with Malika Shirawat and Imran Hashmi and Ashmit Patel, they made the same film. And we were 80% complete. Now I had to recorrect my film for rubbish reasons. Another thing, I feel the soul is missing in the second half. I wanted Akshay to be more passionate, which is in his performance, but he's very good looking. I wanted love making with the repressed wife who was once his girlfriend.
Yes.
Akshay felt, you've done Ram with me.
But Ram was a different film. That
Film
was Dhadkan.
altogether. I explained it to him. But he said, no, Dharmesh, not you getting into this zone. I said, I don't want any physical exposure also. I want the depth of her attraction to you. She's married to a much older brother-in-law. वो चीज़ second half की होती ना, one more hit film.
Okay.
It broke Boni's jinx in its own way. Then No Entry came. Are you getting me? It made Boni good money. It did superbly internationally. It did well in big cities.
Okay.
But unfortunately, it was not all over the country. It suffers from a comparison of Dhadkan.
Yes.
But when you see it with time on digital, it's beautifully shot and good performances.
Okay. Would you like to tell me a little bit about your personal life? Because you see, while these films were being made, you also were battling something on the home front where your parents were falling ill, and maybe you were distracted there, but you haven't really talked about that.
Oh yes, I'm talking first time about that, and to you especially, who knows a lot. Yes. Immediately my mega success of my 3 films, a very young mother of mine who was just 56, 57, discovered overnight she has Parkinson's.
Oh.
And there was no aware of Parkinson's till the millennium in India. And my father we discovered he's got Alzheimer's.
This happened simultaneously?
साथ में. And they were not so old. Now I became the caregiver. They don't have life-threatening diseases, but they have neurological disorders.
Don't know.
They had been very strict parents. Suddenly they became children. I'm working 18 hours a day, the kind of direct time, editing kar raha hu, ye kar raha hu, the thing are you getting me? I'm running back at 2 o'clock in the night after shooting. I'm seeing my mother. It's like I'm getting tremors, you know, Parkinson's.
Yes.
And then 4 hours she's okay. Then I go to shooting at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Her phone, she's hospitalized.
Oh.
In spite of that, I didn't back out on any film. I left Hollywood. Alzheimer's. When you meet an Alzheimer's patient, people say he's perfectly honest. But the caregiver, suddenly in the night, what happens to him? I had a very big career in films. Films are not an easy place to be in. All kinds of competitiveness. I'm not even crying. People cry their personal, कि ये मेरा बीमार है, मैं बीमार हूँ. I'm being very quiet. It's very personal, my parents' illness. I think it took a toll on the latter half of my career.
Okay.
Luckily, I was not alcoholic. I was not doped. I was not wild. I was not a party guy. I love celebration like all Punjabis and film people do. But it took a very strong emotional toll on me. So when I went onto the sets, I could not give so much emotionally. If you see all my superb films, there's a madness in them.
एक
जुनून है. अब मैं कमिटेड हूँ नेक्स्ट फिल्मों में, लेकिन मेरा जुनून इतना पेरेंट्स के बारे में सोच रहा हूँ दिन रात. अब्रॉड जा रहा हूँ तो मैं सोच रहा हूँ अभी ये 3 महीने में आ गया हूँ, अब पता नहीं वहाँ कैसे होगा, और
मतलब घर पे क्या हो रहा,
कौन सा मुझे फोन आएगा, कौन किसको क्या होगा.
So you were very invested in your parents.
Highly invested. Instead, I feel parents should not allow their children to be so invested in them. They should keep children at a little, because like when they go as top films also, the umbilical cord should be severed somewhere, not just physically but forever. I was extremely, my mother was a very beautiful, vulnerable woman. She was Nana Bhai Bhatt's daughter, Mahesh Bhatt's sister.
I'll come to that.
Yeah. She was something else only. Have you seen the character of Padmini Kolhapuri in Prem Rog?
Yes.
The innocence, and then
Yes.
she was like that. She suddenly became a very strict mother to a daughter, to a sister, to a patient. So and then that thing lasted for 10, 12 years, both of them, the long-term illnesses.
You mean your mother's Parkinson's
Lasted 10 years, a decade. And my father's 14 years.
Of Alzheimer's.
And
these were running parallel, and that's when you were doing all these second lot of films.
A second lot of films. I'm rushing to the hospitals. I'm checking on the nurses in the night. I'm dealing with film industry. You know, when you become that big, everyone are out to get you. You know how it is. So in the past, if I would quarrel with the actor, that why have you come late? With my parent ill also, I'm coming on time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm supposedly the star of the film, as the star maker. You're doing 7 films, I'm doing 1. I don't even mind that. Make your bucks, you're doing events, everything. But come and this dates for the full 12 hours or 10 hours. You know. I stopped fighting. I said, okay. I became technical.
Okay. You mean the emotional investment and junoon that you had in your films?
As you can see, when I'm talking again, I've healed. There's a junoon again. It's still 10% of what I was.
So that took its toll on you,
It took too much of a toll.
on your career also.
Luckily, on my career, mainly.
Toy, you mentioned your mother's name was Sheila Nanabai Bhatt, and she was Mahesh Bhatt's older sister, older by almost 10 years, I think.
A decade.
Yeah. You know, in the 80s, Mahesh Bhatt told us, he gave us an interview, that he was the illegitimate son of Nanabai Bhatt, and that his parents never got married, that he was the son of a Muslim lady called Shireen Ali, and that his father never married his mother, therefore he is illegitimate, so is Mukesh Bhatt, but that would include your mother as well because she was his sister. So how do you feel about this? And I just want to ask you this because I remember your father had been outraged by it, and he was the only one who came out and said something about it.
Yeah, he was Punjabi.
Yeah, he was angry and he said something.
Because it was rubbish. See, forgive my father. He was protective about my mother, but he was not a very expressive man.
Okay.
Plus, he was outraged. What is this thing come up after 50 years? He was like this. For making films and money. There's very little truth to it. Every truth can be distorted. Mahesh Mama is my mama, my saga mama, and my mother was obsessed with him.
Okay.
So I blame my mother also for it. Forget my grandmother. No? It was rubbish.
What do you mean by rubbish?
Rubbish. 1939. This I want to say, especially in this mahal. 1939, my grandmother and my grandfather got married. 1959 came with Morarji Desai, the Hindu Marriage Act. By that time, my mother also was married.
Right. Yeah.
So, how my mother, my original grandmother, Shireen Ji, I didn't even know her mother was Shireen until Mahesh Mama made such an issue. I'm brought up by my maternal grandparents when I was born. My mother was ill for 5 years. I lived in Silver Sands at Shivaji Park with Mahesh Mama, Mukesh Mama, my Masis, my gorgeous Masis.
Masis means your mother's
Sister-
meaning,
sisters.
Shireen Ali's.
No,
sister.
those are my mother's Masis. My Masis.
Your Masis.
Like Mahesh Bhatt is my
Okay,
mamas, my
okay,
Masis.
yeah.
Purnima Masi,
You mean Sheila?
Choti Masi, yeah.
Sheila, the
Sheilaji's
sister,
sisters.
Sheilaji's
Sisters.
Okay.
All younger than her,
Right,
you know.
right.
So they brought me up for those 5-6 years. I never saw my grandfather, grandmother absent. What night he's not coming? He made 108 films in 20 years. Can you imagine? Nana Bhai Bhatt ji.
Okay.
Can you imagine directing 108 films in 20-25 years? Where does the man have time to sleep or eat? I had an extraordinary other grandmother
Okay.
who was also,
The legitimate one, or they were both legitimate?
they were both legitimate
Okay.
because I saw both of them.
Okay.
My mamas, my Pappu Mama, my mother sent him to Japan to study.
Who's Pappu Mama?
The other supposedly step mama.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Not Robin Bhatt.
No. Now coming to Robin Mama, all my mamas and mammies supposedly of this other religion thing. Sheila is the name, Purnima is the name, Kumkum is the name, Hina is the name. Hina is the name which goes in both the. Mahesh is Shivji's name. Mukesh is the name. Instead, वहाँ Robin नाम है.
Yeah.
So, and you know
You
how
mean Nana Bhai's Gujarati,
wife.
wife.
I agree.
Yeah.
But if you saw my grandmother, this is a photo here. She used to wear Gujarati sari. She spoke Gujarati. She would wear a bindi. She would wear Mangal Sutra. So I felt, what is this whole thing?
So when you lived
With them,
your
yeah,
early years
yeah.
in your mother's house,
They
mother's
they
parents'
were
house,
vegetarian. Mahesh Bhatt himself is vegetarian. They were
Right.
so strict Gujarati in that sense.
So you never saw Shireen Ali as a Muslim and as a
She used to,
Indian,
the name on the doorway was Mrs. S.N. Bhatt. I thought her name is Sneh. Till 16 or 18. It never occurred to me. I used to call her Mamma. I never called her Amma. I get him.
So you mean to say that this entire story of Mahesh Bhatt being illegitimate and that his father and mother
This
never
is
got
his
married
viewpoint, except he should have been more responsible for it. Because if you're alone, as he's shown in his films, I think Kumar Gaurav is alone in Janam or something. But when you have 3 sisters who are married into traditional homes and have children, what rubbish are you making? Every card of every daughter had Mr. and Mrs. Nanabai Bhatt inviting you for the Kanyadan. Every Kanyadan my grandfather has done. That poor man was, what was he flocked for? A great man,
What are you saying?
Yes. And I'm saying this with utter conviction. You can see how I've answered all the questions. Yes, this may be Mahesh Mama's viewpoint for cinema.
But that's
Unfortunately,
not real.
as far as I'm concerned, and I'm a person who doesn't talk rubbish.
But he made a film called Najais, which was supposed to be based on his
Please
life.
see the film again. It's only called Najais. There's nothing in the film.
Well, there is Pooja Bhatt playing
That is
supposedly your
Zakh.
Zakham also, and there is.
I haven't seen these films
Look,
also. They're
there are these-
perturbing.
yeah, but there are songs, very lovely songs.
Gली में
Gली
चांद
से
निकला.
मेरा
Mahesh Mama has very good sense of
निकला.
music.
Yeah.
No
so
doubt.
now that indicated Gली से मेरा चांद
See, he and
निकला,
Mummy are two.
तुम
I.
आए.
So
now
which
that-
night did my grandfather?
Yeah, so that
He was in
indicated.
Mehboob Studios. He was in Filmistan, Filmalaya. He had 3 hours to sleep making 108 films. Have
That-
mercy. And my grandmother had 6 children and the other grandmother had 3 children.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is he made a film where he had these beautiful songs. Gली से मेरा
It's so...
So that song itself indicated an absentee father, that she's waiting for her husband
No.
and he's not turning
When he was
up.
not an absentee grandfather, I doubt he could have been an absentee father.
Or a absentee husband.
Husband? I want to tell you a story about him. He was at the fag end of his career after 108 films, on his verge to become physically blind.
Okay.
I was a 6-year-old child. He loved my mother because she was his firstborn. He was very proud of her sensitivity, of her dignity and everything. He took me to Nasik for a shoot in the car. I was this pampered Punjabi boy. I wanted to eat fish. Okay. He said, dal kha lo. I said, nahi, daddy, I used to call him. I called my father dad. I used to call him daddy. Daddy, mujhe machhi chahiye. But I didn't know how to be a kata mujhe kha jata tha. Do you know that gentleman who never touched pyaz and tomato, who was from Viramgam in Gujarat, who never had a single except for this nonsense scandal which was brought up at age 70 for him, who led such a honest life, you know.
Those days you were allowed 2 wives because
Are
it was
59?
before
Now
the
what does he do at
Hindu
59?
marriage act.
How do you? It's 20 years to his marriage. He's got 6 children. His elder daughter, my mother, is married. She has a son who's my elder brother. And then suddenly, after so many years, this nonsense. Now, unfortunately, all of us didn't contradict it. We thought it will die. And our love for Mahesh Mama, somewhere I believe, whether he negates it in his heart, he knows this is not nice. Because there are you know what I feel bad about it? There are really illegitimate children in this world, illegitimate partners, illegitimate people on multiple levels. You're mocking them by making a charade of this. Don't do it. It's a very sensitive topic. It hurts generations.
Did it affect your parents?
My father, my mother got Parkinson. The doctor was, that's your friend, Chunky Pandey's mother, was my mother's schoolmate from Kanosa. As she shared that she got Parkinson's after 10 years because of it. She got so worked up and she didn't know what to do. She got Parkinson's for it. One of the reasons she got, it's not, you can get it from umpteen.
It triggered it.
Triggered it, and my father went into Alzheimer's.
What you're trying to say is that Mahesh Bhatt's revelation, which was according to you
His
untrue,
dishonest
the
revelation.
dishonest revelation, it disturbed your mother so much that it triggered off her Parkinson's.
After 10, she bottled it so much. You see, my father was right. Suddenly, why should he be answering? You know, people are teasers, people are mean.
Yeah.
He's led such a great life, he's a big man. Why should he suddenly answer who is about his mother-in-law's thing and his wife's thing? He said, what crap is this?
Yeah. But I'm surprised that your grandparents who were alive at that time, they didn't come out and
Why, my
negate
grandfather
it.
made an statement in the paper.
Oh, he did.
Yes, he gave a piece in his blindness. Bharti, how much can 80-year-old people, blind, how much will they rock the boat? please. Another thing, my grandfather gave a statement that why is he doing this? We are a united family. I have 9 children. I have 2 wives.
So, what was it that affected your mother and father so much?
The outrage,
The dishonesty.
the dishonesty, and my mother's extreme weakness for her brother, who she had, see, elder sisters at that time, who was a 10, after she was the first daughter, he was the first son,
Okay. So there was a 10-year gap.
10 year gap. And she was like his mother, because the other children, she washed him, bathed him.
Yeah.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
And then at 16 she was married off. She was crazy about her brother. She has 2 brothers, Mukesh Mama also, and of course Robin Mama and the other one. They also have brother. But Mahesh Mama and my mother look the same. How do I explain this to you? She was a lady, he's a man. 2 sides of the coin. Hypersensitive people, extremely emotionally sharp. She didn't get into the market, she never needed to be. Could be he had his reasons of survival in the market, but I just feel that if you're alone and you don't make others answerable for you, please do whatever you want. But then if others you're making answerable for unnecessary market reasons, why do it? I fought with him also.
You did?
Yeah, but in my cultured way. I said, you know what you're doing to my mother?
But when your mother passed on, your father passed on.
He was there everywhere. He was there.
Because I was here, I
You know,
saw.
love and all is very much there.
Okay.
I am not calling him Mahesh and all. He's Mahesh Mama.
Right.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Why my cousins and all? Pooja.
Right.
I told you I was thinking of Raja Hindustani.
Yes.
Shaheen is a very sweet girl. I don't know Alia. Both my mommies are beautiful.
Right.
Okay. Kiran Mami though is something else only. Her name was Lehren Retro.
Yes.
Sony I don't know so much. You know. But she's civil. Okay. Mukesh Maha's wife Neelu Mami. You know. I've got extraordinary. These guys, you know what I mean to say. You know how it happens. But you know, every time I feel, Jane do. He was there at my father's funeral. So instead he took my hand and he took me around and lit the funeral pyre. So he's a very
nice
He's
person.
a very
I've
sweet
known Mahesh as a very
Let me
nice
tell you,
person.
Mahesh Ma knows nothing about how to again handle a bank account. That
That was
Mukesh Mama
Mukesh.
knows. Mukesh Mama.
Yeah.
Mahesh Ma is a very deeply, he's really, he's not pretending to
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
Okay. Mahesh Ma बहुत protective भी हो सकते हैं. Once I had a problem with Anupam Kher in Lootere, who I had very good relations in Aap Ki Khatir. Mahesh Ma set it equal.
Oh.
ऐसा नहीं है. My mother would talk, you know, my mother, before her death, the Rakhi which came, she just turned up, she had stopped tying Rakhi to them.
Oh.
And he had gone for lunch, she landed at Mukesh Shah's office. In that ill state from the hospital, she went. She somewhere sensed she's going, she tied Rakhi on him, that thing, asked for his protection. He came running home. I believe they locked the door for my other Masi, told me for 5-6 hours, I don't know what they spoke.
Your mom and
Mahesh Mama.
This was just before she passed on.
She's 4 months. I wish I knew what they spoke. But I think I underreacted first in my silence. You know, I think that took a toll on me. How? That Mahesh Ma did so much of media-giri that I just shrunk from it. I'm articulate. I'm expressive. I was super successful. I had my reach. Of course, today social media. So he could not do this in social media.
Because the counters would have come up.
Immediately. Chalo, the next generation, sisters and all are forgiving, nephews, nieces, grandchildren. Are you getting what I'm going to say? And my other grandmother, what a lady.
You mean Nana Bhai's Gujarati
Wife.
who's Robin Bhatt's mother? She was a nice lady?
She was not nice, she was outstanding.
But Mahesh has always talked about the trauma he had as a child when he went to meet her.
Please.
Which is why he said he got put off by Hindu rituals
Could be.
and Hinduism, etc.
Where does Hinduism come into all this?
Because that was a Hindu household.
This was also a Hindu household.
Okay. I'm confused.
Where does this religion bashing come? You know what I'm going to say?
Yeah.
Ab kya bol raha hai?
This Mahesh has said it.
He
and
has,
I'm not
I don't
making
deny
it
it.
up.
That's why I'm answering you deeply.
Yeah,
You're not saying
yeah.
anything wrong. You're saying instead you're underplaying what all he has said. I think it's gracious of you. I feel, yes, what can I deny?
She was nice, lady.
She was not nice, Bharti. She was even better than my own grandmother.
Okay.
No one can be what she was.
She was a gracious lady.
She was gracious.
Because you came from the other family.
Yeah, she was gracious to a point of nobility.
Oh.
All my three of them, Nana Bhai Bhatt, Mrs. S. N. Bhatt, Shirin Nana Bhai Bhatt, my
Your real grandmother.
blood grandmother,
Yeah.
and my other grandmother. I'm forgetting her name, please forget
What?
me. And because I would also call her Mama. So if I call this one Mama, I'm calling her Mama.
Okay.
I'm not calling her auntie or something. Incidentally, my mother, I believe, in the first 7 years was brought up by her.
Oh.
Because for first 7 years there was no child to both the mothers. Then the baggage came after my director became, grandfather became a director, and 7 children came,
Okay.
both sides everywhere.
Okay.
So that time, I consider it a blessing that I'm speaking in the period of Pitrupaksh Shraddh, which is a homage to one's grandparents, parents, correcting the wrongs with a single right.
Toy, you had problems with your career. Your career took a dip because you had problems with various films and with a lot going on in your personal life, which you have just talked about. Do we see Dharmesh Darshan coming out of his sabbatical, or is that for life?
You see, Indians know nothing is for life.
Okay.
Indians don't know the concept of sabbatical.
Okay.
They think if you're not doing work, that means you're not getting
Work, yes.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
I hope this comes up. Everything to be adapting, I hope you understand. If you're not in news, that means
You're not doing anything
you're not
worth.
worth it.
Yeah.
Hello, I had been 18 years on the top. I had parents who passed away overnight with neurological long-term illnesses. Cinema was changing, corporates and all, by 2010. The world was changing post-recession. And I was very tired, emotionally. Plus, I have this huge resume to live up with. I'm still answering that the films which I have done reasonably well are called failures. अब मैं क्या बोलूँ? मैं accept करता हूँ. लेकिन no filmmaker, no hero, in the sun sets and rises. I'm a very content man and a very restless artist.
Okay.
If you can understand the dichotomy of it.
Yeah.
10, 11, 12 years. After Aap Ki Khatir, I was signed this time to do 2 films. One with Mr. Ramesh Turani, who had done Raja Hindustani with Tips in Ayub.
Yes.
With Akshay Kumar.
Okay.
That is peak.
So Ramesh Turani Tips had signed you to do a film.
2009, when my mother passed away suddenly.
Okay.
Immediately overnight returned the monies. He said, I'm ready to wait. He was gracious.
And
I
why did you do that?
I said, I don't know when I'm going to get up again. And I'm
He was
exiting.
still to recover.
Oh. When she passed away, Dad was completely alone. Majorly. I had no idea. Mummy used to in Parkinson's also had, our wives handled. Alzheimer's galloped off his. It's a galloping disease. In last 2.5 years, it with his partner gone. Suddenly, I had to be grounded at home. I didn't go to Pune. Forget going abroad and going for location.
So Ramesh Turani had actually asked you to do a film, given you a signing amount.
A big signing amount.
With Akshay Kumar.
With Akshay Kumar signed by him. I don't think it was unprofessional of me because we had not invested a rupee in the project. Subject was also ready. And this time I was going to do another film. Govinda had made a big comeback with Partner.
Okay.
That film had Govinda and Sushmita Sen. And I was considering, thinking about Aishwarya and Akshay. Akshay was finalized. Instead, Akshay ji, I think, really felt bad about that.
Okay.
That I backed out. But I was too emotionally wrought. And Govinda's some reason that film I didn't end up wanting to do. Now what happened, Bharti? I thought, ab daddy, after 3-4 years, I said, 1st January I'm going to start meeting producers. Actors, so as it is, I was never pally meeting and all. I'm very friendly with them as friends, but I don't gusso into anyone. They like their space also. I also like my space. Set pe kitna bhi camaraderie. I've never been in any camp or something. I've got films on my own thing. I worked with all kinds of heroes and everything. 31st December, my father passes away.
Oh.
1st Jan, after 3-4 years, I'm about to start work. I go back into, then there's some personal things which I can't discuss on familial levels. I'm an artist, I didn't know these things exist. So I started having to combat that. I couldn't bunk that in my home. I had been artist enough. Films were changing too dramatic. They become very star-centric. Stars, so I work with stars all my life. Stars are stars. What are films without stars? It will become a sitcom. You know what I mean to say. The mileage a hero, heroine gives on a magazine cover, how big a director he cannot give. Let's accept it. You know.
That's why on the posters you have stars.
Stars.
It's not like
only South they have a director's statue.
Like
That's why they've reached Bahubali,
Yeah.
where they were so behind us. This is something for us to learn. I think Bombay directors are too democratic. We are unnecessarily humble today, I'm saying that. Today I see anyone, just even a small little celebrity talking so much. It's taken me so long to talk even this much. You know. Then I felt perception itna zyada ho gaya. I have a word. I think Bollywood was hijacked. I have an expression for this, which I don't think anyone has expressed it. I say this with a lot of integrity. I love my film industry like I love my country.
Right.
My country may have a lot of problems, but India is India. Which country doesn't have problems? It's an outstanding country. Look where we are today. If you want to flog achievers, there's no limit. Some mistakes to everyone will make, isn't it? It's the intention which matters.
Absolutely.
You know. Bollywood was hijacked in the decade. Freakily. I didn't have the energy to correct that perception. Whether via the media, whether via my films. And then comes Gaddar 2. By a much senior director than me. What an achievement.
Anil Sharma's Gaddar 2.
Anil Sharma ji's Gaddar 2. I mean, look at this man. Everyone is... What has it done? And on merit, it's not star-studded. Sunny is powerful, but he's supposedly people were writing him off. I mean, if you can call Sunny Deol B grade, then he was A plus grade always. Ups and downs तो किसके career में नहीं है? Amisha Patel, Utkarsh, a new girl, Manish Wadhwa, no Amrish Puri and all.
No Amrish Puri.
No Amrish Puri.
Yeah.
Imagine the achievement of the film. I want to say this to camera. This is cinema.
Okay.
Satyamev Jayate in this case. Jawan is also a very good film. But you see what happened? They became running down one to build up the other. Why? Everyone can coexist.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere came this film. Doodh ka doodh, pani ka pani ho gaya. Are you getting me? And I suddenly said, all those people who are reaching out to me, I became curious. I said, why are they reaching out to me? I'm not in news. People may think I'm not relevant.
You mean people are reaching out to you now? Filmmakers are reaching out to you?
Right through my sabbatical, I had people reaching out to me. Bharti, I killed stories instead of creating stories. I killed who I didn't work with, which actors, with everyone. Because they've given me respect by reaching out to me. I'm not here to put it next day into the media that, see, I rejected this. I've seen success from a very this level, genuine level. ये सब complex की बातें मैं क्यों करूँ? इसकी मैंने नहीं की, उसके मैंने. It's not nice, no? They are giving me, offering me jobs, man.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So then the people who had been reaching out to me very lovingly, you know, all my producers, oddly, just doing 7-8 films, wanted a certain connect again. Via somebody they sent her this, you know, I sensed it. And it was not just with Gaddar 2, it was happening before. I became awoke with Gaddar 2. I was incidentally at the premiere. I don't go anywhere. Very close family friends.
Anil Sharma ji
Anil
and all
Sharma ji. His father was like my father. Kapil, his younger brother, very good friend of mine, who's making the top web series with Zeenat Aman's comeback just.
Yeah. Kaustubh.
Kapil Kaustubh, Zeenat Aman, Pallavi Joshi, Kitu Gidwani. He's also talented. You know. Now that's another school from Gaddar 2. You know.
Right.
He's also cinematic. You know. Good very good family friends. I instead don't know Anil ji so much, senior to me and everything, but really genuine filmmaker. To make something out of a project like that,
Yeah.
everyone went. So this is bizarre. I don't think I can make Gaddar 2 again. Because I don't think I can ever make Raja Hindustani again, or Dhadkan again, or Lootere again, or Bewafaa again, or hopefully not the 3 other films which didn't do as well. ये फिल्में बन जाती है. I think films get made. They are not deliberately made. You fall in love. If you plan your love strategy, I doubt it happens.
So what are you planning to do? Cut to the chase.
Oh God. I'm planning.
You are? So are we going to see?
Let the child at least,
conceived?
3 months, be sure, it's just been detected,
Okay.
So
now you've come to terms with the loss of your parents.
mainly with the loss of my parents. Career loss तो था ही नहीं, मैंने खुद ही see, films are a very fair this set. Films throw you out. You can be the biggest. So I get scared to say I took an exit. Films never say I don't want to do films. They say you don't want to do. There are hundreds.
Yeah.
You'll wake up in your own time. Very few people have the luxury. And mind you, I didn't produce those films. I chose that luxury. I'm a guy who can sit in an auto rickshaw and go to Otters Club and fly BA first class. I don't have those hang-ups. I live the way I live in a certain place in Pali Hill. I have the car I have. I have the securities I need as a single person. I never attended parties as it is. I was never disturbed. इसने मुझे इस premium में नहीं बुलाया, इस magazine issue में नहीं. I have to make a story every month. I didn't make for years. If somebody said something, I said they'll discover on their own. Why get into this whole thing? Why?
So are you going to be making a movie
Your
again
persistence.
or not?
I
And
am.
if you are going to be making,
Which one is it?
Is it Dhadkan 2? Because that's what people are talking about.
Frankly, I'm shocked at the buzz since last month about Dhadkan 2, considering there's no cast finalized. Considering I've taken such a long gap,
Yes or no?
I may be doing it. This is the first.
That's the closest he's going to come to it.
But there's an emotional commitment.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
Yes.
Depends on how I navigate it now, how we navigate it now. What is I'm watching so many sequels and all, man. I'm not making a sequel.
Okay.
Dhadkan can't be made as a sequel.
Right.
It's a lot of soul, But I've healed. Let's say I've healed emotionally.
Okay. And your sabbatical is over.
Definitely. There are many things I want to do. I say this to the camera. Let's say it, which I didn't say in the past. I'm a writer of all my films. And Ekta complimented me. All my serials are your films. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to, lyricist.
Yes.
I'm a
You're
singer.
getting your
Royalties
royalty
for those
it,
6
isn't
films
it?
I gave my credit
Yeah.
for. 6 songs, 7 songs all at once. I'm
Pyar.
a singer, I'm a performer. I was too inhibited in the last years. The world has changed. I've also changed. I don't think I can ever move on from my parents.
No, but you've got to get used to the idea.
Yeah, someday though I have to get used to it. I'm also getting
And
older.
get going with
Get
life.
going.
Yeah.
Also, it would be fun to now, after such isolation, meet. Everyone will not be God, but to meet all kinds of people. People have been nice to me, I feel. I feel nobody has torn me to shreds or trolled me or as yet. वो सब चलता है थोड़ा बहुत. Everyone has been sweet to me.
So you're going to be making a film now.
Yeah, which one it is, I can't commit right now.
You did say Dhadkan 2, you
No,
have
no.
a commitment. You have an
I
emotional
have an emotional
commitment.
We have to see both of us how we
Okay.
go ahead with it and all that.
Okay.
But this time I'll be doing 2 films possibly.
Together for the same producer?
No.
Okay. Two
I
others.
burden him with me twice.
Okay.
And I intend doing a lot of multifaceted things.
Okay.
It will be fun, singing, you know.
What about music? Your Nadeem Shravan is no longer
So
around.
what? Shravanji has passed away, Nadeem is not there, their legacy lives on. I'm not an absentee director in music. Are you getting me? I was there every single recording, every single sitting.
It's still
every
not the same as composing the music. You
well, a
choose the
part of
right.
me is a composer.
Okay.
I don't know a single notation. It's not taking any credit away from Nadeem ji or Shravan ji or Anand ji or Milind or Himesh Reshamya. These are the only people I worked with. I didn't have the fortune to work with R.D. Burman before my time, Lakshmi Kant Pyarelal, S.D. Burman, O.P. Nair and all. These are my cult things, you know. So that's it.
Okay. So we are going to see the return of Dharmesh Darshan.
Destiny, let's see what's cards.
And it is the end of his self-imposed sabbatical.
This interview marks for multiple reasons. Yes,
the return of
I wouldn't
Dharmesh
know the
Darshan.
return, but the open-mindedness now. No more close-minded.
I believe you also are a very, very good singer. So can we hear
I love
just
singing,
still, can we
and
just
I'm not
hear?
a bathroom singer.
Okay.
All
can
my
we
singers,
hear just a little bit of your singing?
Alka, Udit, Sonu,
Uh-huh.
Shanu, they all got the best singer awards for all my films.
Yes.
I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
A wonderful
But
singer.
you can sing?
Let's check it out.
Let's check it out. Okay.
Well, for cinema, let's sing a song.
Okay.
यूं तो अकेला भी अक्सर गिर के संभल सकता हूँ मैं, तुम जो पकड़ लो हाथ मेरा दुनिया बदल सकता हूँ मैं, मांगा है तुम्हें दुनिया के लिए, अब तुम ही सनम फैसला कीजिए, ओ मेरे दिल की चैन, the Rasla artist in me, चैन आए मेरे दिल को दुआ कीजिए.
Super. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Lovely.